The Department of Education is about to change the rules regarding student loan repayment and forgiveness options. Here's what you need to know. Today, April 3rd, 2025, the department kicked off a process called negotiated rulemaking. It's the first step in changing the regulations that govern public service loan forgiveness, as well as the repayment plans pay as you earn and income contingent repayment. This will not impact IBR, the SAVE plan, Parent Plus loans, or any other student loan program. Just PSLF, pay as you earn, and ICR. Ready? Let's break it down. I'm going to explain how regulations get changed, including how long it takes. Then I'll tell you what these new regulations are expected to cover. And finally, I'll let you know who's going to be impacted. So stick with me, it's going to be a while. First of all, remember, public service loan forgiveness was passed by Congress. However, its day-to-day operation is governed by regulations. The same is true for ICR and pay-as-you-earn. Congress passed a law, and the Department of Education created regulations that dictate how those programs operate. When the Department of Education develops new regulations, there are specific steps and timeframes that they need to follow. First, the department publishes a notice of intent and public input in the Federal Register announcing its intent to conduct rulemaking. This notice may include public hearings or solicit written recommendations, and the submission deadline is typically 30 days after publication. Next comes the negotiated rulemaking session. Basically, it's a bunch of people who are going to meet to work out proposed regulatory language that accomplishes the goals that they're setting out to take. Step 3. Once those proposed regulations are drafted, they're published in the Federal Register for public comment. The comment period typically lasts between 30 and 60 days, and during this time, members of the public can submit feedback for the department to review. Step 4 is to send the proposed regulations to the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs for their review. This usually is going to take about 90 days. And finally, the final regulations are published. If they're published by November 1st, the regulations take effect on July 1st of the following year. If they're published after November 1st, implementation is delayed until July 1st of the year after the following year, so 2 years later. So nothing's going to change at least until July 2026. Now let's talk about what these new regulations are expected to cover. According to the notice published today, they've got 3 goals. First, refining definitions of a qualifying employer for the purposes of determining eligibility for public service loan forgiveness. And that likely means that they're just going to try to adopt the executive order that was signed by President Trump a few weeks ago. Second, pay-as-you-earn and income contingent repayment plans. They're probably going to look to adjust those plans to comply with the recent federal appeals court ruling that also killed the SAVE plan. And 3, and I'm quoting, potential topics that would streamline current federal student financial assistance program regulations while maintaining or improving program integrity and institutional quality. Nobody knows what that means, so we're just going to have to wait until the rulemaking session to see what they talk about. Overall, think stricter employer criteria for public service loan forgiveness, fewer forgiveness options, and possibly different repayment calculations. And now, the part that you've been waiting for. Who's going to be impacted? If you're already paying your student loans and you're paying them under IBR, this isn't going to apply to you. Remember, IBR isn't involved in this. It also isn't going to change FAFSA. FAFSA is not involved in this. If you're already making progress under public service loan forgiveness, pay-as-you-earn, or ICR, they can take away any of the time that you've already accrued. But if the new regulations change future eligibility rules or redefine who qualifies, your progress going forward may be affected. If you're starting school or you're just finishing school and entering into repayment now, the new rules are probably going to apply to you. Between this and the ongoing budget reconciliation negotiations in Congress, there are sure to be a lot of changes in the world of student loans. So buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Questions? You know where to find me.